So I'm here with the moon in your partner's 12th house. I'm starting from the 12th house now, and then I'm going back up. 12th and going all the way back up with this series, but moon in the 12th house because I just did the moon, sun in the 12th house, all right? Synastry, but moon in the 12th house synastry, believe it or not, is a lot better or easier to deal with um between both people in this industry than the sun is. Because remember, the sun is coming from ego more than anything. The sun is coming from lots of ego. The sun is running more. The moon feels comfortable here. So if your moon is inside your partner's 12th house in synastry, or you have someone's moon in your 12th house, there's automatically no doubt, a intuitive link here off top. You're gonna know it, and that person, you're gonna know if you're the moon person for sure. Okay, you're gonna be really aware of it. The house person is gonna know it as well. If anything in this particular synastry, I can see the house person becoming more of the person that's trying to disconnect between the two versus the sun in someone's 12th house. The sun is more of the person that's trying to disconnect. And the reason why the house person could be trying to disconnect in this particular synastry aspect is because the house person could be oblivious to a lot of its psychological workings, inner workings, subconscious workings, a lot of feelings, isolated feelings, or they weren't isolated until the moon got here and started isolating feelings within the 12th house person, within the house person, that is actually pointing out these feelings. And the moon person is willing to stay here and deal with whatever the 12th house person or whatever the house person is sensing and feeling. Even if the moon person has, there's some type of distance there for some reason. Okay. Some type of emotional distance that the moon person could be trying to fight or distance themselves from for their personal reasons, right? The 12th house person is becoming aware of the fact that the moon person has a very significant way of pointing out or making these unconscious feelings of the house person known. The sun synastry can do this too, but a lot of times with the sun industry, you're dealing with ego. Okay, moon here is different. Okay, so the house person can be could definitely have an issue with a lot of things that the moon person is bringing up for them. And the moon has the capacity to withstand whatever the house person is bringing up. There's a lot of psychological aspects that the moon taps into that the house person can be uncomfortable with, but at the same time, they want to embrace because they know that they feel a deep connection with the moon person. But it's it gets tricky. It gets tricky because the 12th house person almost wants to not control the moon person per se, but the 12th house person wants to control the emotions of themselves. A lot of stuff that's coming up that they're just I didn't really want to deal with, these things that I hide from. because it's fine with me if I can tuck these things away and just go on with my life. So the house person can become irritated or frustrated or sometimes manipulative of the moon person or towards the moon person, because the house person starts doing things to where they're like, okay, well, you know what? Oh, so you basically did this or that made me feel insecure or made me feel like you're trying to take advantage of me or made me feel a certain type of way. And I'm not going to stand for that. I'm not going to do it, because here comes the 12th house person bringing up these past issues, these psychological stuff that they're dealing with or is coming up. It has nothing to do with the moon person, unless it has something to do with the moon person in the past life. That's a whole other thing. Okay. But it's coming up, and then this house person is trying to make the moon person responsible. Really, the house person is trying to control these things that's coming up by feeling like, hey, I'm putting these limitations on the moon person. That way, I know for sure that I can feel safe. If I need to let my guard down, like if I have them all under control, or I feel safe around hiding to these aspects of myself that I don't really want to bring up. You know, it's like they find a way to point everything back onto the moon person. Because the house person can be completely, irrational about the way everything's playing out. Okay. The moon person thinks the house person is living in a fantasy around certain things. But at the same time, they want to get lost into the fantasy world of the house person. They want to get lost there. They want to be able to just let all their feelings go, because now the moon person is telling the house person stuff that it doesn't really tell anybody else. It's letting it, it's something that's not even necessarily have to be communicated between the two a lot of the times. It's just like, dang, I know what you're going through. Oh, you know? And like, even when the moon person tries to hide, see, if it depends, like if the moon person is in a place to where they're not really ready to completely let go into the 12th house, this 12th house situation, the moon person could feel like the 12th house person is able to definitely tap into their feelings. Okay. Definitely, they feel like the house person is like some type of therapist or someone that they can really talk to, or someone that they can let their guard down with. But at the same time, if there's certain subconscious aspects that they have not worked out within themselves too, then they start feeling like, I don't know if I should trust you, 12th house, because who are you? What do you want with me? There could be feelings of paranoia or confusion around what, like, why I know that the 12th house person, I have a connection with them, but like, what is this about? The moon person can really get caught up into the whole fantasy part. Like, these two can be very romantic with each other and like get lost. Don't make me preach. Get lost within each other. They can get lost. Literally, these two can be out, like having dinner, like on a date, talking, and just like get lost in each other. Like, wow, like who is this? Like, what is this person like? Wow. And the moon is very allured, attracted to like all the depths the 12th house person can go. Dive in deep. And just when, I thought I was deep, like I'm uncovering more stuff about the 12th house person, because the moon is in the 12th house of where our own hidden talents are. Where the 12th house, the moon is in the 12th house of the person, of the 12th house person, to where the 12th house person ain't even sure of what's in there. It goes deep. But it's like the good with the bad parts come up. But the moon person is just like, wow. And the 12th house person is just like wanting to make all of the moon person's troubles, like emotional troubles and They want to be like a support system for the moon person. They want to let the moon person know, I'm here for you. I'm here no matter what. So they can accept things off of each other that other people won't accept from other people, or that they don't accept from other people themselves. You know, they can accept things off of each other. Very emotional. They can be emotionally when it comes to sex, because people don't really talk about sex that much when it comes to the 12th house. When it comes to sex, it can be a lot. It can be all the time. The moon person it can be in the back of the moon person's mind. To the point where the moon person might, depending on their sign, the moon person might be like, dang, I can't, like, I have to think, you know, I have to live every day. But the moon person in this 12th house person's, you know, aura field, or just like they're, because it's something sometimes you feel like you see or you feel, but you can't touch all the time. Like the moon, whenever in the 12th house person's presence, can forget what they're doing. They can have appointments set up and forget they have an appointment set up. You know, I missed that appointment. And the moon person starts really looking at the 12th house person. I cannot, like, I have to be able to function, and I have to separate my interactions or my feelings with this person from like what I have to do, because like they can get caught up and live this relationship or this fantasy or this life that really isolates other people too. And people are like, wake up. Don't you know that you're married with kids? Because this can definitely be the house of emotional affair. So can you imagine a person that has their moon in their 12th house? I'll go over that later, if I haven't already. But the moon in the 12th house can definitely show a person that has, well, the person that has their moon in the 12th house can show someone that has emotional affairs with people. Especially if they're not getting those emotions that they feel they need to get from their spouse that they're with, they will. But really, the whole point is for them to emotionally like heal their emotions, or to really sit with their emotions and to self-sustain, like be secure within themselves. But lots of sex with displacement, you know, emotional sex. You can be crying or dropping tears or just like really open up emotionally during sex. Having the moon person could just really try to get lost real deep into the 12th house person, and that could usually mean like on all areas, sexually too. You know, the house person can crave the moon person sexually as well, because they can feel like the moon fills some type of space or void for them. Definitely, listen, if it's two people, this is where two people can come together, like two hurt people or damaged people come together. And they can be like together off of the victimization of themselves. So, and this may not be good if you're trying to get out of a victimization role, but it can be good psychologically on each other, because you can help each other heal. That's only if both people are ready for that. The moon in the 12th house, like I could just keep going on and on and on with this, but it gets very deep, very fast, very intuitive. It's definitely a spiritual connection that both of you know you're not really running from, but at the same time, you can if you haven't dealt with a lot of psychological aspects or subconscious aspects that comes up that you're not trying to face. But like if you both are in there, you both are in there. Like you can accept each other for like flaws and all. Okay? This has been Moon in Partners 12th House Synastry. I'm Butterfly to the Lights. And I'll be back. Peace.